When I was about 15 years old, I had one of the most terrifying nights of my life. I was home alone. We lived out in the country. It was a dark, dark night. And soon after I got home, my sister and her then boyfriend arrived. And as they entered the house, we heard a noise out behind our house that we had never heard before. It was this methodical chick, 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 and it would get louder, and then it would fade away. And we sat there and thought, what could be making that noise? Behind our house was like a pine forest. There's little patchy areas that were clear here and clear there, but then past that, there was nothing. There was farmers' fields and things. It was just us. We lived out in the country. What could be behind our house making that noise? And so for a while, we sat in the house and listened out the window, trying to hear, make out any kind of a semblance of something that we knew what this noise was. And then we'd hear it again. Chick, chick, chick. And it had almost a mechanical sound to it, but not quite. We couldn't place it. And it would get really loud. Like it would get so loud it sounded like it was right behind our house. And we were freaking out. At some point, we decided we're loading weapons. We got the guns out. I had a little .22 pistol, loaded that thing up, and we were ready to go out there and face whatever was in our woods behind our house. Now, after a while, we got the nerve to go outside, the three of us. We went down our deck and kind of around to the back side of the house. It was quiet. We could hear some noise off in the distance, but we really couldn't hear what was going on. But as we started to walk into and towards that pine forest, we heard it again. Cheek, cheek, cheek. And at first we're like, it's very quiet. It must be far away. But before too long, it was chick, 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 and it felt like it was right in front of us, and we couldn't see a thing. It was black, and there was all the pine trees, and all we could hear was the reverberation of that noise through the trees, like pounding our chests. Chick, chick, chick. And we were freaking out. We were scared to death. Now, luckily, we never raised our guns or did any firing or anything crazy like that. But at one point, we got so scared that we basically all just ran for it. We ran out of those trees. We ran back to the house. We got inside. I didn't know what exactly to do. And then it went away. The cheek, cheek, cheek. And we sat for a while and thought, did it just leave? Is it gone? What could be making that noise in our forest behind our house? Could it be some kind of alien or something from space? Some kind of creature that's out there that's walking around, and as it walks, it's making this noise because of some big mechanical thing from outer space? What in the world could be doing this? And as we contemplated what it could be, the noise came back. Cheek, 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 cheek. And as it got louder and louder, you could almost feel the windows on the back of the house vibrate from this noise. And we totally lost it at that point. And we called the police. We called our local sheriff and said, there's something behind our house. We don't know what it is. It's making this loud noise. It's like rattling our house. It keeps coming at us and going back. It's like it's taunting us. It knows it's got us scared. And so it comes up to the house and frightens us and then moves back and laughs at us. I've got him right where I want him. Now we listen to this cycle a few more times, come and go, as this monster in the woods taunted us. But eventually the sheriff did arrive. And the deputies came up to our house and they knocked on the door. We answered. We explained to them what was happening. And as we explained to them, the noise started coming back. And we could hear it. And we were telling them, we don't know what this is. It's got to be like right in the trees right there. And and the deputy stood there for a while and he listened. And he wasn't sure either. And he didn't show any signs of fear. And he told us, you wait here. I'm going to go out in the woods and I'm going to take a look and see what this is. And we're like, are you crazy? Are you insane? We have no idea what that is. It could be something with big, sharp metal claws that's going to rip you apart or something. We were freaking out at this point. And I'm only 15 years old, and all I've ever watched is horror movies and sci-fi and crazy things. So my brain's like going crazy, thinking all these weird, bizarro things from outer space are going to eat us. But that officer, down our deck he went, around the house, and out into that pine forest behind our house. And there we sat. We waited. And as he was gone, we heard it come again. Chick, chick, chick. And louder this time. Chick. We're like, did it get him? Is he gone for good? Will that police officer ever come back? And just a couple of moments later, we could see him come walking out of the trees and out into a clearing amongst the pines and around the house and back up to the deck. For a moment he stood there and he kind of sighed and looked at us and said, yeah, your farmer behind the pine trees over here, he installed an irrigation system and it's going around in a circle irrigating his land for where he's going to farm. And what you're hearing is the big irrigation system as the arm swings down and hits the water and goes, chick, chick, chick. It was an irrigation system that ran in a circle, and it would go away, and then it would come back around. As it came back around, it made a noise, and he had just installed it, and that's what we were hearing. That was the big scary night, or the scariest night of my life. Well, one of the scariest nights of my life. I have a couple others that we might tail on. But yeah, that was a scary night. We loaded weapons and everything. We were ready to go to battle. And it was an irrigation system for his field. All right. This is March 17th, 2025. Today, let's see, this is vlog number 76 in the series. And hey, just one more note. Crazy here in Minnesota. It is 64 and sunny today. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous day on this St. Patrick's Day. Oh, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I guess you'll see this on the 18th rather than on the 17th if you're following the series as they come out. So I'm a day late on the happy St. Patrick's Day, but it is still St. Patrick's Day. But in Minnesota, it's 64 sunny. It's perfect out today. And by Wednesday, we're supposed to have 5 or 6 inches of snow. Crazy Minnesota weather. All right, that's it. And I will see you tomorrow.